Peace. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living God who sits at the most high place. He is one, and there is none like the Supreme Spirit. We're here at Numbers 11, fire from the Lord. Now the people complained about their hardships in the hearing of the Lord, and when he heard them, his anger was aroused. Then fire from the Lord burned among them and consumed some of the outskirts of the camp. When the people cried out to Moses, he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So that place was called Taberah, because fire from the Lord had burned among them. So when I read this, with all of the previous chapters that we've just read, and the order that has been given from the Lord of the Israelites, and the encampment, and the way that they were to order to be in the encampment, and this chain of command that existed, that the fire burned on the outskirts of the camp. Which tribe do you think that would be? And the people complained. What were the people complaining about? Someone want to answer that? So, because you complain to the Spirit, the living God, he destroys you, he kills you, he beats you down. What were you complaining about? Your slave masters? Those people in power? Anybody who wants to answer the question, please go ahead and put it right down there in the comment section. 2 years now I've been asking for questions. Put it in the comment section if you know the answer. Much love, the gravy train. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the phone calls. Thank you for the direction. Aiding me along in this spiritual truth. Anaya Obadiah is the same. I'm just a truth seeker, and I like when people have knowledge that I have no knowledge about, though I don't really care too much about the stories of the Bible because of stuff like this. You got the Israelites who are complaining, and they're just complaining. And there's no specifics here about what the people were complaining about. They were just complaining to the Lord. So that's kind of off for me. Quell from the Lord. The rabble with them began to crave other food. And again, the Israelites started wailing and said, "If only we had meat to eat. We remembered the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost. Also the cucumber melons, leeks, onions, and garlics. But now we have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna." Oh, could that be what they're complaining about? So because they're eating nothing but manna, substance. And what are the ingredients to manna? If you were to put ingredients to it, it comes from the Lord. So what is it? Well, let's see. So here at Wikipedia, manna, Hebrew, was Romanized man, uva, and the Arabic sound, sometimes or archaically spelled manna, is according to the Bible an edible substance which God provided for the Israelites during their travels in the desert during the 40-year period of time. All my understanding of manna is nothing but a bread, right? Or a substance that you can make bread out of, but clearly the Bible tells you that you can't survive off bread alone. So the Lord has led them out in the middle of the desert to feed them manna for who knows how many years, right? Lead you out in the desert. The desert. Hold on for a second. This has always kind of concerned me as well. I've always kind of found this peculiar. Isaiah 34:14. Excuse me. The desert creatures will meet with hyenas, and one wild goat will call to another. There the night creatures will settle and find her place of repose. King James Bible, the wild beast of the desert shall always meet with the wild beast of the island. And the satyr, which is a goat demon, a satyr is a man, half goat, shall cry to his fellows. This is why the Gentile are considered goats. Okay? Shall cry out to the fellows. The screech owl, this here is Lilith, also shall rest there and find for herself a resting place. So this is a spirit that's looking to find itself a resting place. The NASB, the desert creatures will meet with the wolves. The hairy goat, the demon, also will cry to its kind. Yes, the night monster will settle there and will find herself a resting place. Herself a resting place. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are worshiping a feminine spirit. You know, one of my closest friends at one time, who was on board with me, one God, turned around and started worshiping a female god. Told me plainly that he didn't feel any longer that the supreme spirit of truth, the living one, is one. He believes that the spirit of truth is two. Or I don't know what the guy believes anymore, but clearly he's off. Give me 1 second. I want to find one that has Lilith. I was starting to freak out here, guys. I've read just now probably about 15 different ones because I know that I've read this parable with Lilith. And desert creatures will meet with hyenas, and goat demons will call out to each other. They're also Liliths, plural right there, Liliths, with an S on the end of it. This isn't a hyphenated S. This isn't one Lilith. This is multiple Liliths will settle and find for themselves a resting place. What's the resting place that they're talking about? Our host bodies. Over here at the, let's go the amplified version. The creatures of the desert will encounter jackals, and the hairy goat will call to its kind. Indeed, Lilith, night demon, Lilith, the night demon, will settle there and find herself a place of rest inside of our host bodies. So I'm afraid that if you're manifesting a female spirit upon you, this female spirit that you're manifesting upon you is Lilith, and that will keep you walking in darkness. Excuse me, give me 1 second. Moses heard the people of every family wailing at the entrance to their tent. The Lord became exceedingly angry, and Moses was troubled. He asked the Lord, "Why have you brought this trouble on your servant? What have I done to displease you, that you put the burden of all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Did I give them birth? Why do you tell me to carry them in my arms, as a nurse carries an infant, to the land you promise an oath to their ancestors? Where can I get meat for all these people? They keep wailing to me, 'Give us meat to eat.' I cannot carry all these people by myself. The burden is too heavy for me. If this is how you are going to treat me, please go ahead and kill me. I have found favor in your eyes, and do not let me face my own ruin. Let me face my own ruin." The Lord said to Moses, so now we're having a conversation between two men, "Bring me 70 of Israel's elders who are known to you as leaders and officials among the people. Have them come to the tent of meeting, that they may stand there with you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take some of the power of the Spirit that is on you and put it on them. They will share the burden of the people with you, so that you will not have to carry it alone. This is the start of a government, by the way, folks. If you can't see that this is the start of a government, now he doesn't want the burden. He's passing down the burden on to others. Tell the people, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow when you will eat meat. The Lord heard you when you wailed. If only we had meat to eat, we were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat it. You will not eat it for just 1 day, or 2 days, or 5, 10, or 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils, and you loathe it, because you have rejected the Lord, who is among you, and have wailed before him, saying, why did we ever leave Egypt? See, this is the whole thing, is you guys, this is why all the punishment began. Now the Spirit's supposedly leading you out of the desert, leading you into the desert, where the desert people will meet with the hyenas. But Moses said, here I am among 600,000 men on foot, and you say, I will give them meat to eat for a whole month. Would they have enough if flocks and herds were slaughtered for them? Would they have enough if all the fish in the sea were caught for them? The Lord answered Moses, is the Lord's arms too short? Now you will see whether or not what I say will come true for you. And believe me, folks, I don't believe that any man, I believe something spiritual. If something is spiritual, then these are dreams, these are visions that Moses is having this conversation with a spiritual being on the other side. Not that I even believe that the story of Moses is true. I'm just saying it's a possibility that it's not. So Moses went out and told the people what the Lord had said. He brought together 70 of their elders and had them stand around the tent. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and spoke with them. And he took some of the power of the Spirit that was on him, and he put on the 70 elders. When the Spirit rested on them, they prophesied, but did not do so again. So they prophesied. Don't you think that if they prophesied about something, that these 70 other elders would have had prophecies that were written inside of the book? Come on. They prophesied one time, then it would have been very important to take these prophecies and have so that they be written down, because they did not do so again. However, 2 men whose names were Eldad and Medad had remained in the camp. They were listed among the elders, but did not go out to the tent. Yet the Spirit also rested on them, and they prophesied in the camp. A young man ran and told Moses, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. Why, you little snitch, you runabout, you nasty demon child, ratting somebody off? You need to burn, you need to die. Who are you that ran to these men and ratted them off? We don't know, Joe. But Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' aide since youth, spoke up and said, Moses, my Lord, stop them. But Moses replied, are you jealous for my sake? I wish that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his Spirit on them. Then Moses and the elders of Israel returned to camp. So also, what else is this telling us? It's telling us that all those children of Israel, man, that are out there in the still camps are still right here, not on them. I wish that the Lord would put his Spirit on all of them. So not all of you that are in the camps of Hebrews have the Spirit on them. And Moses and the elders returned to camp. Elders of Israel returned to the camp. Now a wind went out from the Lord and drove quail in from the sea. It scattered them up to 2 cubits, deep all around the camp, as far as days' walk in any direction. All that day and night, and all the next day, the people went out and gathered quail. No one gathered less than 10 homers. Then they spread them out all around the camp. But while the meat was still between their teeth, and before it could be consumed, the anger of the Lord burned against the people, and he struck them with a severe plague. Therefore, the place was named Kibroth Hattaavah, because they were buried the people who had craved other foods. From Kibroth Hattaavah, the people traveled to Hazeroth and stayed there. So here's a good question to ask yourselves. Out of nowhere, now the Lord brings all these quails up for the people, and no longer, while the meat is still in their teeth, it seems that the Lord once again curses them. This is a double-minded Lord here. Here, I'll bring you quail, I'll bring you meat, and you guys will have more meat than you can eat. You're going to loathe it, man. We don't care about it. You're going to hate it. And then all of a sudden, he brings you the quails, and then he strikes you down with a plague. Yeah, folks, I don't know, man, about this God of the Bible. I do know that the supreme spirit of truth, the living, the almighty, the supreme, he allowed something. Just like you are you and I am me, the supreme spirit, the spirit, okay? Not flesh, not you in the flesh or me in the flesh, but the spirit created another spiritual body. You understand? And this spiritual body was loved and blessed and had great blessings in heaven, and people started to worship him. So this blessing, this saint, whatever you want to call him, this entity, this body, this heavenly body, this force, this seraphim, this powerful angel, a body, a spiritual being. It's not flesh, folks. Okay, this spiritual being was given great power. Great power. I mean, so great power that people don't understand. Revelations 13:15 Bible Hub. That something was permitted right here. Revelations 13:15 tells us that something was permitted. The second beast was permitted to give breath into the image. The second beast was permitted. Okay, there's two beasts here in this parable. The second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast, a first beast and a second beast. And the second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast. I'm a beast, folks. You understand that? I'm a Gentile, and I understand what I am as part of creation today. What I'm doing today is for the love of the spirit of truth, man, because I've walked in the lie all my life. And then when I asked for the truth, the parables became clear to me what was being said. So for the second beast was permitted to breathe into the image of the first beast so that it could speak and cause those who refused to worship it to be killed. See, so I refuse to worship the beast. I refuse to worship mankind. This second beast here is the one that's permitted to give breath into the image. Well, what are we talking about exactly? Right here, Genesis 1:27 Bible Hub. This one. So you got this one here that's created in an image. So this God here, Elohim, was permitted. Elohim was permitted to create a man in his own image. This God here was permitted to create a man in his own image, and in the image of God, he created him. This God created a man, him. This is self, as in properly self. Give me 1 second here. Self. This God, this is the first beast is Genesis 1:25. And this is the second beast that's being created, okay? This is the spiritual body that fell away from the Supreme Spirit, right? The Supreme Spirit wants us to worship him in spirit, in truth. But this God here created a man. He created himself, and he created himself in an image. And an image, this one here is a phantom, okay? Beselemo, from an unused root meaning to shade, a phantom. It's an illusion. This is so crucial for you to understand that this man that's created on the sixth day of creation is an illusion. He's a magic man. This is why the word mage is in the word image, is because this man that created this God, this supreme entity, a divinity of the Supreme Spirit. That's what this is. It's a divinity of the Supreme God. It's something that is used. So this God here that is used of the Supreme God was permitted. Here, the second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast. So we're talking about an image. Okay? This one here. So God created man in his own image. This is the darkness. This, I know, this is such heavy duty stuff, what I'm sharing right now, man. It's for your decipher. The spirit that's on me is telling me that there was a spiritual body that was divided. 2/3 of this energy was caught. It tells us so here in Revelations 12:1 Bible Hub. Okay? It tells us right here, a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, wearing a crown with 12 stars and on her head. She was pregnant and crying out in pain of agony of giving birth. The woman and the dragon. Who's this woman here? This woman here is the Babylon whore. Okay? This is why the dragon's ready to devour the woman's child. It goes on. The woman flees to the forest and finds sanctuary. But also, when we go here, Revelations 12:4 Bible Hub. And it's told you 1/3 of the part of the stars of heaven. Stars. Who are all the stars on this plane of existence? They're rock stars, right? Generals who wear stars, porn stars, Hollywood stars, political stars, Jesus Christ superstar, the stars of the heaven that were fell and did cast them to the earth. The dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born. Why? Because the devil of this realm, the god of this realm, devours its own. The God of this realm here is the one that created mankind in an image. It was permitted. Now, if I'm wrong about this, am I going to burn? No, I think that I was more closer to burning for eternal hell by believing that Jesus Christ was Lord and Savior and calling on a man that died on a cross, a stick man. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. This is White Raptor News Ministries.